In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to do some different color schemes, and we're going to try all these ones out. So we're going to do monochromatic, complementary, triad, tetrad, analogic, and this last one as well. So to do this, the first thing you want to do is find an image. So I'm going to go ahead and go find my image, and I'm just going to use this one right here, and we want to try and change 4 different areas in this. So we're going to start off with monochromatic. So going back to that website, so if you click right here, here's the website that we'll be using. And it's kind of a cool interactive website. For monochromatic, we don't really need it so much. You're just going to go in and drop on a paint bucket. So we'll start off finding the paint bucket, and if you can't find it, if you press G or Shift G, you'll find it. And then we'll go ahead and find that image, and then just drop on a paint bucket on a blank layer. So you can either click on this icon, or we can go up here to Layer, New, choose Layer. I'm going to go ahead and name this Mono for monochromatic, and then just click. So that'll get that over here, and to actually apply it, we need to come down and choose either probably hue or color. That should change that to monochromatic. Once we're done with that one, we're going to click on the eyeball and create a new one. So we'll go to Layer, New, and Layer again. And I'm going to name this Comp for Complementary. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a color and drop that on my new layer here. And then I can't just choose just any color, so I'm going to change that down here to color again and go to the brush tool. But I need to choose a complementary to select something over here. So I'm going to go back to that website. So I chose kind of this light blue on the complementary, and whoops, so it looks like I'm going to be using some sort of orange color. So I'm going to click on my color, just kind of eyeball it to choose that color, and then with the brush tool, so choose probably a circular brush. Bring up the size a little bit. You can also use the bracket keys to kind of do that as well. And then you just kind of go over the top of it until you get kind of that area. If you want to use a selector tool, you can click on your original layer, and I'm going to use the magic selection tool, bracket keys to make it a little bit bigger. I'm just going to go ahead and select as best as I can, and sometimes it does a little bit too much, and if it does that, so Command Z to undo, and then I can kind of click, and it keeps grabbing that same area. So I'm going to hold down the Alt key, or you can come up here and just kind of deselect parts of it so it's not selecting the whole thing. So once I get that selected, and I did an okay job there, then I'll go ahead and go back to that complementary layer, and I've already got my orange loaded. Go back to my brush tool, and then I can just kind of wipe that down and get that as best as I can. Looks like I missed a little patch there, so I'm going to go a little bit closer and kind of go there, and then do the same thing over here to get that on there. So once I've got that on there, if I still want to grab a little bit more, I can come back over here to select and deselect, and I'm going to go ahead and just make that a little bit smaller, maybe just kind of do a little bit of touch-up work. Looks like I got too much in some of this area, so I can flip that back around to the blue and just kind of touch it up, zoom in a little bit maybe. And I just held down the Alt key. I'm pressing Tab to kind of pan to drag it along, get that in there, and you don't have to make it absolutely perfect when you do this. Flip it back over to that color to kind of do some of that. So get it as best as you can, and then you can move on to the next one. So the next one, I'm going to go ahead and hide that one. So it looks like the next one I'm going to do is this triad. So once again, choose. So maybe I'll choose this color here and use green and yellow. Create a new color. So that time I did it a different way. So try, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go over and grab kind of that pinkish color and drop on a paint bucket. Go ahead and drop on the color again. And now I want to select this area and this area. So I can just jump in here with the brush tool again. And it looks like I need to use yellow or green now. So maybe I'll jump into yellow first. And then just go ahead and start to draw on there. If I want to do it a little bit quicker, a little cheat I can do is go onto a Complementary. And we already selected it once. So if you select on that one, and then go ahead and click on the magic wand tool, you can select that area because we already selected on that layer. Then go back and then grab the brush tool or even the paint bucket tool. I'll just use the brush, and I can just kind of, it doesn't go past those marching ants, so it's a little bit easier and a lot less time on there. So to remove those, deselect, then I'll come back to that layer, do the magic wand again, select this area. Essentially what I'm doing, I'm just selecting what's already been selected, then jump back, and I need to do green now. That light green, do the brush, and just kind of throw that on there. So now I've got, and then Command D to deselect, or Control C. And then once I have those, then I can just move on to the next one. So this one I have to do 4, and you just keep doing that until you've got all of those done on there.